WCLU news coverage of the 2020 general election is brought to you in part by Glasgow Prescription Center.
The Glasgow Prescription Center is proud to be your whole life pharmacy because our goal is to provide the best pharmaceutical and home medical care to every patient that comes in our door. Log online to glasgowrx.com or call 270-651-8889 to find out how Glasgow Prescription Center can serve you.
Welcome today, Terry, of course, to our program to talk a little bit about your candidacy for Glasgow City Council. This will be another term for you, potentially, of course, to be elected. But first, welcome today.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, Brennan. Thanks for having me on, and
Sure.
Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. So let's get into, of course, talking a little bit about you. Someone watching this, perhaps they aren't real familiar with you. Talk about, who you are, what you're involved in, and just you as a person.
Sure. Well, my background is in banking. I've been a banker in this community for many, many years. Currently the chairman, president, CEO of the People's Bank. We have an office here in Glasgow, and we have offices out in western Kentucky in a community called Marion. But grew up in Cave City, spent time working with Citizens Bank and Trust, and people may remember that name from years ago, which later became Trans Financial. I was involved with Trans Financial for many years. Past president of the Glasgow Barron County Chamber of Commerce, had that role and really enjoyed that. It was really a great opportunity then, and learned a lot about Glasgow and just a lot going on back then. Been involved with Barron County Family YMCA for a number of years. Really thankful for the Y's presence in our community. Was involved with Boy Scouts a number of years ago. Helped coach tennis in the community. Put on the Weldon Tennis Tournament, president of the Weldon Tennis Association, and a few other activities here and there. The Glasgow Lions Club, I have to mention that one as well. But a lot of opportunities to be engaged in Glasgow, and that's really why I'm involved on the council. It's because I have a lot invested in Glasgow, and I've seen a lot and been a part of a lot, and want to keep Glasgow moving forward.
Sure. So talking a little bit about your investment in the community. So, of course, you're running again,
Yes.
now to hopefully be elected this November for another couple of years. And just as a reminder for those watching, how long have you been on the our council thus far?
Yeah, I've been in one term, so
Okay.
Completing 2 years.
Good deal. And so talking a little bit about those 2 years, whether that's something at the beginning of this term or just most recently, what do you feel has been, I don't want to say, huge, but maybe monumental thing that's gone on here in the city that you've been a part of?
Sure. I think there are two things. Number one, with the Parks and Rec. We were able to spend money in 2 parks this last 2 years. We've made some upgrades to Gorn Park and at Twyman Park, particularly with the playground equipment. Now, we have other plans for the parks there, but to be a part of that and how you can bring that facility or those facilities to a better quality. That's something I believe in. If you're going to build it, you got to maintain it. And people are going to use it, and we want people to use our parks. We want people to be out and enjoy it. I mean, when I'm out playing tennis at Gorn Park, I see people now, on our new playground equipment. It's very nice. We need restrooms. We need to upgrade the restrooms there, and hopefully we'll get that done very shortly. But that's on the plan. Also, with lighting and security system in our parks. I think that's very important. We want people to feel comfortable when they come to our parks, because it gets people out, gets them exercising, gets them meeting and talking with other people, and just gets them out and get them involved in our community. So working with our park director and other members of the committee and making that happen and moving that forward. The other part would be our strategic plan. We're very close. We're a couple of weeks from announcing the results of the strategic plan. I'm very excited on that. Our listen and learn sessions that we had 5 of those sessions in our community. It was great to see the public out and participating in that. And then when we reveal the final report from the Kentucky League of Cities, that's our next step. Actually, that's our beginning step of the strategic planning process.
Good deal. So being involved in both of those things, of course, I guess you could call those things both positive things, even though strategic planning has gotten a little, what would be the word? Some people would call some of the things discussed in those earlier meetings, like interesting, I guess, trying to build upon that. So relate that to what people, often hear at council meetings. We talk about industry recruitment and talking about, moving forward. How does strategic planning fit into that?
Well, I believe a lot in strategic planning because you've got to have a plan if you know where you're going. If you don't care where you go, then you don't need a plan. But you've got to have a plan. You've got to think about where you're going, and you've got to look at what's out there in front of you. You look at the threats and the opportunities, and you take all the SWOT analysis as we talk about. But you've got to look down the road 5, 10, 15 years. And we can't just look to fix things. There's a difference between fixing and planning. And to me, we've got to plan. What do we want to look like 5, 10, 15? What do we want to look like 50 years from now in our community? And so planning is critical to that. And what you do when you plan, then you bring lots of people into it. You bring lots of ideas in. The city is the catalyst behind it, but the city's not going to do it. It's going to take the people in the city to do it. Now, the city can help, but the city is not the solution to it. We need entrepreneurs. We need people thinking about we can do this or do that, or we're planning this, but we're going to wait this time period to do it, and we got this before we can do that. So you've got to have a roadmap. You just can't step out and say, I'm going to do that. It takes a foundation. And again, that's the part of the planning process is the right foundation, and you bring partners into that, and you continue to look for opportunities, and you've got to think, where do we want to go? What end result do we want? So the city's got to go through that just like a business goes through that, and we're no different. The city is the catalyst. The city cannot do it all and will not do it all and should not do it all. The city can't do that. We want to make sure that the opportunity is there, any roadblocks are removed, and to help us to move forward. And then the public gets involved and takes it and makes it happen.
Sure. Now, another huge inevitable topic that always comes up that it has been going for several years is the Glasgow Electric Plant Board. Now, those situations on that board have changed. I think they've evolved over the years, and even in the last several months now that there's been some court proceedings going on. But how would you say, just for people that are listening, what is your position on trying to, get that board to at least be doing business, regardless of what that business is? Because I think we're at a stalemate currently, and I think people want to see something going on.
The members of that board have got to come to the realization that we've got to move this forward. We've got to compromise. We've got to work together in what's best for the residents of Glasgow. What's best? And as a city council member on a legislative body, my responsibility is to approve or deny the individuals that the mayor recommends to sit on that particular board, just like the mayor represents for other commissions and boards, and our legislative bodies, has a part of this. So we take it very seriously, but at the same time, that board is a functioning board and it has certain rights. When the board was set up many, many years ago, someone was thinking forward about keeping that board where they could continue working, but was outside the influence of other groups. And there's value to that because they as a board coming together and working together of what was best for the ratepayers of the Glasgow Electric Plant Board. And so we've got to continue to encourage that board and every board in our community to work together. And those board members are responsible.
Sure.
They're responsible for their decisions and their actions. And I just ask that they continue to look at, again, the long-term solution, the long-term plan. What is the future plan for the Glasgow Electric Plant Board? What's it going to look like 5, 10, 25 years from now? How's it going to be able to meet the needs of our community? We've got to have electricity, some form or another, and it's got to be affordable.
What do you think is one of your greatest strengths that is conducive to your ability to be a council member?
Sure. I think I'm willing to listen to people. I enjoy listening to people. And I like to take that information and make something out of that and help in the process. I think I can bring wisdom to it from the opportunity of, I can hear your side, I can hear your side. Let's work on a solution. Let's talk about solutions. I like solutions. Someone in my organization has a problem, and my first reply back is, do you have a solution? How can we make this work? Have you thought about this, or have you looked at that? I like to study. I like to get prepared. I like to know more about a particular topic. I'm not afraid of spending time in looking into a matter. I enjoy that because that helps educate me so that I can help you.
Sounds good. Well, we appreciate you coming in
Sure.
today. And, of course, we wish you the best of luck this November.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Hi, I'm Brennan Crane, News Director for WCLU Radio. Thank you for watching this portion of our 2020 election coverage. Visit us at WCLUradio.com and online at Facebook and Twitter for the latest and breaking news updates.